Woohoo! Okay, we're not doing that. Nah, we're not doing that. Okay, so today we're going to go to the break and shake room. And you will understand why I do it. We're going to use one of my cars here. This is my SPD car for Schererville Police Department. Even has its own official M plate. Now, this is one of my personal vehicles that I made. This engine's hopped up all the way. I mean, all the way. Everything that I could find in the tune-up shop is on this motor. So, the best I could do, even with slicks, is do donuts in the airport parking lot. But it's okay. Because, even though we can't use this much for anything else, we could definitely do it for the tutorial on this break and shake room. And that is what we're going to do right now. Where are you at? There you are. Now, I've seen that people seem to get confused with this room. They think this is some sort of room where it's the do-it-all. It is not a do-it-all room. The car travels here in rolling speed so that it can spin your brakes and test them. Then it'll move into rolling speed, and this will pick up and shake the daylights out of the car. The reason for this is that you are testing the bouncing system that's involved here. There's no stress load on this when it's bouncing up and down, because the ball joint in here is made to do that. Its stress load is right and left. So when this ball joint gets bad, it's getting bad because this tire is constantly fighting so that you can keep this thing straight, and it's in an argument here. And this end link attaches to this stabilizer bar so that this car can maintain a form of control. It has nothing, bouncing up and down, it does so freely. This will work like a hinge joint on a lever. It's not going to do anything when you're bouncing up and down. And you're definitely not testing the drivetrain. How are you putting a load on all of this going to the back, much less this engine, on this? Well, what do you do? Are you revving the engine red line and neutral dropping it and spinning the wheels on a tile floor that's going to let you go nowheres? No. You're not. The break and shake room is not an answer for everything. It takes care of the necessary things. If your customer it's got problems with suspension and brakes, this is where you test it, because this is more efficient than the road test. This will find all your bushings and bad stuff to deal with the car when it bounces. But it's not going to test the load on the drivetrain and turning and whatnot. You need the test track for that. So when you don't go on the test track, you go up there and be like, well, I don't understand why it keeps telling me that I got something else bad on the suspension. I changed everything according to what this thing told me, and here you got a bad end link and you don't know it because you only bounced it. So you're not going to know about the end link. You're not going to know about the tie rod. You're not going to know about the engine loader trans or any of that cool stuff that you get on the thing. And the only reason why I'm stressing it is because I even seen it even in the videos, people going up again, this is the test all, but they don't know why they can't find certain stuff. Granted, there's stuff that you're going to have to take off and do a visual inspection, but if you go here and then go on the road test, you will see a lot more. Besides you having your diagnostic tools to work with, because these are for helping you to get the job done. That's all it is. So let's get this started. Yeah, let's just run smooth. I did a nice job with this. If you look up in the faded areas, you will see that they actually divide them out. So therefore, it isn't like how it was where you had bar graphs that told you if it's going to be in the front or the rear. It actually specifically shows you the locations here. The yellow marks are to tell you which sections of the tires are going to be active. The circles will show their color codes depending on the condition of the brakes or the suspension. I actually like this way better than 2015. So as you can see, we're ready to go. And then we'll bring it for the rear brakes. Now we will go ahead and start the shake part. And as you can see, it'll give you the list at the end. Now, as you can see, there's nothing in here showing what I was talking about. Nothing for tie rods, nothing for the end link and whatnot. So remember, if you're sitting there and there are things wrong with the car, this is going to be very efficient for what you got to do here. It is not the answer to everything. You're still going to need to take this thing on the test path. You're not going to get around it. If you have other stuff going on that this unit is not designed to do, you're not going to find it. And other parts you may have to visually take off and actually look at them. Like sometimes I notice the rack for the steering will show up after you do the test track, but most of the time it doesn't. You have to remove it to actually see it. But when you're looking at the test rack completely, the way the graphics are that you'll have, you'll see this thing being rusted out or bad. Now, for those with their personal information, how do they do this? I painted the car white, I took off all the deck lid and the doors, and I sent it back in, and then repainted it black, and then put the parts back on. When it comes to the mirrors, you gotta kind of watch it, because some of these mirrors are paintable. So if you go to role play like I do, where you send it in with no glass, no mirrors, no headlights or bumper, if the bumper's not paintable, you'll have to at least install the mirror to see if it's paintable or not. If the mirror is paintable, it'll show up black, like a flat plastic black. If it is not paintable, it's usually always chrome, and therefore that's how you'll know. Okay, anyways, it's a shame that Red Dot did not have a siren kit. I'd put it in here. Alright, let's get moving on.